which of these bully boy tactics is Gordon Brown alleged to have used against his staff? The answer is all three.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. You're watching The Right Stuff. We're live on 5 this morning. We've got Sanjeev Bhaskar here, Mel Kidroich, you all right? Yeah, good. And fun-loving criminal Huey Morgan. He's going to have the rest of today's headlines for you very shortly. First, though, there's one story everywhere. This, of course, is bullying. And we're asking if the head of a confidential anti-bullying helpline should have told journalists she took calls from Downing Street aides. These are calls for help, one imagines. Rightstuff@5.tv is the address if you fancy pinging us an email with your thoughts. Christine Pratt, founder of the National Bullying Hotline, claimed they received 3 or 4 calls in recent months from within number 10. And she says she spoke personally to at least one caller who complained of a bullying culture within Downing Street. Pratt insists the only reason she spoke out was to counter Lord Mandelson's denial, issued after The Observer published allegations that Gordon Brown bullied his own staff. Mandy said, and I quote, "Gordon doesn't like taking no for an answer. There's a degree of impatience about the man, but he doesn't bully people." If that comes from Peter Mandelson, I believe him. The issue for the panel, though, is whether or not Pratt should have gone public. It's confidential helpline, after all, but no names were mentioned. Going public, though, I would argue might deter others from picking up the phone and seeking help. There are also question marks as to how Pratt could be certain these calls came from within number 10. And what was her motivation for going public? Many commentators are concerned this morning that a charity's homepage features quotes from not one but 2 high-profile Tories, David Cameron and Anne Widdecombe. So has Pratt been a fool? And Sam?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that, you know, this is also kind of like, you know, because there's a book that's come out as well.
That's right.
And the timing of it just feels very, very suspicious because you think that, you know... Firstly, OK, first of all, the thing about the helpline, it is supposed to be confidential. You're right about the fact that, you know, to absolutely ascertain that the person is... You know, we could ring up from here and say, hello, calling from Buckingham Palace, being bullied a bit by... and suddenly that becomes someone else...
She could phone you back, of course. There could be you know, that may be one way. We don't know
but you come to a switchboard, you kind of... Do you know what I mean? It's a slightly different matter. But, so I think that I do feel... find slightly suspicious, and it will put people off. And also, these helplines are there to help the person that's rung in. It's not then something that you disseminate to the rest of the world as a kind of... You know, it almost feels like ooh, guess who rang me the other day? Yeah. You know, someone from the Prime Minister's office. Not saying who, but do you know what I mean? It feels like a game. And then going on to the actual kind of the bullying stuff, again, you know, there was... It's extracts from the book that were published say that Mr Brown grabbed an aide by the lapels and shouted, "They're out to get me," and then thumped the front seat of his car so violently that a bodyguard sitting in it was frightened for his safety. And you kind of go, what kind of bodyguard? That's rubbish. Woo! You know, it's kind of, fly, spider, bee. It's kind of, and so...
But underneath all of this, though, there is the flip side, I would argue, is that if bullying makes people very scared, can make people very scared, Mandelson has offered such a strong rebuttal of the claims in this book that you may feel, perhaps, Mel, that this woman had no choice but to step out to refute Lord Mandelson's denial.
I just can't imagine people going in to work at number 10 being bullyable sorts, in a way. I mean, you've got to be extremely tough.
You say that there are people being... Well, actually, it's never proven in Deep Cut and things like that. There are people bullied in the army, things you hear about. So if it can happen in the army, why not in Downing Street?
I don't know. There's a whiff of Billy about this. There's a whiff of Billy about Pratt as well. Do you understand what I mean?
MI6 will.
I'm speaking in code. They'll know. The people that are supposed to know will know when I say that. I don't know. I think she's got to go. I think what she's done is pretty inexcusable, really.
OK, I'm surprised, actually. I thought there might be some sympathy. What about you, Hughie?
I kind of feel... what Sanjay said, the timing is kind of funny with this. I mean, this is coming up to the election times, and...
I don't think there's any... Look, the book is being published very much, I think, and it's very aware, the publishers and Andrew Rossi, about why it's coming out now. her response has been triggered by those revelations. It's whether or not you feel... Should she have responded at all? I mean, Mandelson says there was no, there's been no bullying.
Well, I think she should have kept it to herself. If it was a suicide hotline, what would she have done? I mean, these are help hotlines that people call up for help. Yeah. Now, if this was in case true, which we're not saying it is or isn't at this point, she should have kept it to herself, I believe. I mean, I'm a taxpayer in this country, so I do have a say.
Well, hers, it's a charitable hotline.
It's not funded by the government. No. It could be funded by a political party. We don't know.
It's had tacit vocal support for its cause from political parties.
Well, I understand the bullying aspect of it, and I can understand why this is needed. But I also think that the timing is a little fishy. And also, if you are the Prime Minister of Britain, you are under a lot of strain, and if you have an aide that you happen to be close with and you happen to go, they're out to get me, and like you said, if he punches the back of the car and the SAS guy gets freaked out by it, I think that's a little nonsense.
Yeah, there's different types of bullying as well. I mean, you know...
Shut up, no there isn't.
Well, for instance, I'm sure
I'm getting Pratt onto you. Pratt is coming for you. Sorry, Hugh.
I'm sure, like, verbal abuse is considered bullying in a large extent, but when you're at the top of the pyramid, as Gordon Brown is in this country, and he has a lot of pressure going on, I'm sure that he might say things that people could consider bullying, but...
I agree, and if you see the thick of it, which is not that far removed from reality, there you have verbal abuse is used like people drink water. I mean, it's there all the time. And there doesn't seem to be much more than verbal abuse and the odd lapel grab.
And if you're in politics, you get into politics, you kind of know what's going on.
You've got to be tough as old boots, haven't you?
Well, let's see if the people at home agree with you. Should the boss of this confidential anti-bullying helpline have spoken out? You can email us with your thoughts right